All right, listen, we got a whole bunch of things going on. Roddy Piper is a wrestler who I used to watch on TV.
Yeah, he was the one in the kilts. Remember?
He had a kilt, but I don't know what happened to the dude.
Yeah, he had a show called Piper's Pit that was like Kiner's Corner where he interviewed wrestlers.
Right.
And it was great.
But I think he had a falling out with Vince McMahon because in his new book he just badmouths Vince all over the place.
Oh, really? He's written a book?
Yeah. He wrote a book about it, but a real honest book about wrestling and what he thinks about it. And in the book, he's the same age as me.
You're kidding. I think of him as...
You see who looks better, me or Rowdy?
Good Lord, that's Roddy.
Hey, Rowdy, how you doing, man? You Rowdy or Roddy?
Christian name.
Oh, here, sit down so we can hear you.
That is him. He's cut his hair.
You cut your hair, man. You look different.
Do I look better or worse?
Oh, you look cute.
I love you too, man.
And he's not as big as I expected him to be.
You know what? It's like Swayze in that movie, you know, geez, you're not that big. Yeah, piss me off and watch me grow. You know, but Robin, I love you. I've been a big fan of you. I'm a big fan.
Thanks,
of you.
Rowdy.
God bless you.
You still going by Rowdy or no?
Roddy. You know, the Rowdy was just, nothing was premeditated in my career. I didn't come up with a name. I came fifth in the world playing the bagpipes. First time I fought professionally, the pipe band played me in the ring, and my first name is Roderick. The announcer just knew that. He didn't know I was a substitute. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, here comes Roddy the Piper," and the just got dropped. And
but you in your new book, you talk about Vince McMahon in not a flattering way.
Yeah, I love to hate him.
You hate him?
No,
why
I don't hate him. I don't hate him.
Wait, let me read to you what you say. You talk to me about this. Okay. The following are quotes from Roddy on Vince McMahon and the state of wrestling.
All right.
I want to get wrestling back on track. What Vince McMahon forgets is he didn't make wrestling, his dad did. Mm-hmm. And that's true. His father started the whole, wrestling business.
I think maybe even his grandfather.
Right. So what is it that he's doing wrong? What do you mean get back to?
I'm not a purist.
Right.
I have kids. I love my kids. That's why I live for them. So you turn on the wrestling, and he's got the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. And as he pulls the back of his pants down, he wiggles his bum cheeks, and he says, "Look, my ass even does tricks." I thought to myself, hell, I've known that for 30 years. This guy. And then, the thing with, it's true what they're doing to these guys.
So you hate the fact.
Okay.
But isn't the WWF always about theatrics, and isn't it about shocking, and isn't it about, but you're saying the storylines used to be better, more broad?
No, first of all, there were no storylines. I've never had a storyline in my life.
You never handed a script when you were a wrestler?
There's one time in the WCW, a referee came with a fax to me and said, "You get into the ring, the referee calls us together, he gives instructions, and rings the bell." What the hell did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, that's
Until the bell rings, I can't make no money.
But that was the only script that you got.
I threw it back at the guy. No, the art of wrestling is...
yeah, but you always knew ahead of time who would win and stuff.
The only thing that was known was they wanted a common ending, whatever that was. How you got there, that's the magic of the wrestler.
That was up to you to be spontaneous.
Yeah, that's where the improv comes.
There's too much scripting and too much acting?
Absolutely. Wrestling, as in New York said to me when I did They Live, if you ever thought wrestling was acting, you're wrong.
Yeah. Now, why don't you start your own wrestling? What happened to you? I mean, you were big in the
What happened to me?
you were doing your own show. You were like the Kiner's Corner of wrestling. What happened? What happened?
Yeah,
was there a falling out?
No, I'll tell you what. When WrestleMania 3 in the Silverdome, 93,000 people, John Carpenter asked me to do the movie They Live. And Vince McMahon Jr. got mad at me because he said, "I'll have another movie for you in 4 weeks." I said, "Not with John Carpenter directing it."
Right.
So he sent a message via my lawyer that Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon are the only true blue WWFers.
The falling out really occurred when you got offered your movie.
Yes,
and
sir.
Vince said to you, "Don't do the movie. I'll put you in a movie."
Yes, sir.
Because you didn't comply with that,
Yes, sir.
you fell out of favor.
Exactly.
And so, therefore, you become persona non grata. You can't come back to the WWF.
No, go away, leave at your own chosen speed, but go faster, Rod.
Did you say to Vince, "Listen, Vince, I just want to do the film. I love the
bless you.
WWF. I want to talk rationally here. I don't want to be out," but he would not hear you?
Yes, and also 2 or 3 days ago, I FedExed a book to Vince, and as nice a letter as I could put, saying this to him, capsulized, "Vince, I don't want anything from you. Your league, you're way off." I got to make it real plain that I was the sickest of them all.
Okay. You seem like a crazy guy. Quite frankly. I don't think it's an act with you.
I don't think you took your medication today.
I think you're. Are you on any medication? Do you have to take medicine? No. You're not going to take medicine.
No, I've done that one too.
Right.
I remember there was a steroid investigation, and
You admit to taking steroids, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with it. I don't know. You know, one of the things the government used to do in those steroid things is testosterone. They put, this does not enhance athletic ability. This is your government jerking with the kids.
Right.
Well, we knew it did. So right away, that discredited anything the government ever said.
Right.
Then they took that label off it, and so they're still trying to. So, does it or does it not? Well, now they say it does. So quit messing with it.
Yeah, you should be able to take it if it doesn't enhance athletic ability.
No, well, depending if you can't get a hard on or not,
Right.
with testosterone.
Did it stop you from getting aroused?
No, it it gave me 4 kids.
Really?
Absolutely.
How can testosterone stop you from
When you
getting
when you took steroids, did your nuts get smaller?
After the cycle goes through a 6-week cycle and the synthetic wears off, your nuts get smaller, and you got to take a thing called granatolvin, I think it's called. Which is like a female hormone which balances things back.
Right.
Good Lord.
It's tricky chemistry. And I could even see in your wrist, you broke your wrist. You won't have it fixed because they say you won't be able to play the bagpipes again.
How'd you know that, man?
I read your book.
You did, man?
Yeah.
Honest to God, if anybody's going to give me an honest God, what'd you think?
It's really honest. It's good.
I did it from my memory and from my heart.
So the point is, when it comes to wrestling and Vince McMahon, you'd like to see a loosening up of the strings where every word isn't scripted, where Vince isn't in charge of everything.
I told you I sent Vince a book, and in the note it says basically this: clean up the sexual part, and I'll get you right back on track with the wrestling. I don't have no problem with you. If you don't, then I officially declare that wrestling is dead. What the hell was I talking about?
All right, wait. So wait a second. Let me get back on track.
Thanks, Howie.
Okay, so you hate the fact...
Okay.
But isn't the WWF always about theatrics, and isn't it about shocking, and isn't it about, but you're saying the storylines used to be better, more broad?
No, first of all, there were no storylines. I've never had a storyline in my life.
You were never handed a script when you were a wrestler?
There's one time in the WCW, my life's like this, I got to hurry up for you. A referee came with a fax to me, and I looked at it and said, you get into the ring. Okay, I figure the guy wants to get in the ring second, I don't care.
Right.
I'll get into the ring. The referee calls us together, he gives instructions, and rings the bell. Well, what the hell did you think was going to happen?
Yeah,
Until the bell rings, I can't make no money.
That was the only script that you got.
I threw it back at the guy. No, the art of wrestling is...
yeah, but you always knew ahead of time who would win and stuff.
The only thing that was known was they wanted a common ending, whatever that was. How you got there, that's the magic of the wrestler.
That was up to you to be spontaneous.
Yeah, that's where the improv comes. So if you get Ric Flair, for instance, who's a master at it, and you put him against myself, and we both have different ways to getting to Zed, that's the magic and the entertainment. Having Grandma take her shirt off, baby, give me a break.
So there's too much scripting and too much acting?
Absolutely. Wrestling, as in New York said to me when I did They Live, if you ever thought wrestling was acting, you're wrong. Okay, I take the criticism. But let me give you this example, Howard. If you had a young boy, 21 years old, and you gave him your morals, and I'm talking about, I'm sure you have a lot of high morals. Let me rewind that.
You haven't seen it, it's just wrong.
Okay, yeah, right. Well, that's what it says in my wrestling script.
Right.
He's 21 years old. He goes there, and Vince McMahon says, hey, I'm going to make you main event. I'm going to give you $1 million for the year. And you say, that's great. And so 20 minutes before the match, you're ready to go. You've told Howard, his father, his mother, everybody. They come up to you and you say, we got great plans for your kid. This is what we'd like to do tonight, though. We want you to lay on your back. We got this 320-pound Samoan with a thong, and we want him to sit on your face. That's okay with you, right?
Not really, but
no,
maybe for $1 million.
No, baby, I put my arm up and have a fudgicle on my arm for 4 days. Yeah.
So you're saying there's too much humiliation of the wrestler.
Absolutely.
You're not allowed to be your own man.
Absolutely.
You don't want someone's ass in your face. You want to get a script that says, listen, lay down on the floor and let some guy with a thong put his ass in your face.
Are you ripping me? And then McMahon does it to his own daughter.
Now, that shocks you.
No,
you wrote that out in your book.
Big time.
Would you ever let your daughter...
I would kill the man that even looked at her wrong. I am not teasing you. I am so jealous.
We believe you.
They're my daughters.
Right,
you know?
right. You're protective.
Yeah, I'm overprotective.
Right.
I had
You
a
admit that.
stalker. Yeah.
You had a stalker.
Oh, big time.
Female, I hope?
Unfortunately, it was Frisco and male. No.
Really?
No.
It was a guy.
It was a guy.
Right.
3 years in the can as a felon. His brother just got busted for gun running through the Mexican border. He was
He was obsessed with you?
Well, not only that, my children was following them, etc. And this was in Portland, Oregon, and rather Washington County, and the cops wouldn't, they wouldn't help. I guess they have so many, it's hard for them. I went out on my own, I got her, and that was while writing this book, and I love my kids. My kids are my life. They
Right.
say, my wife.
You captured your own stalker, in other words.
Oh, yes, I did.
Where is he now? In the base?
He is. Well,
He's getting a fudgy.
He's with Hoffa. No.
Samoan guy sitting on his face.
For the rest of his life. So I'm going to try and understand this, okay? Okay. You want to get wrestling back.
How's he going to do that? He doesn't have any control of wrestling.
Yeah. Now, why don't you start your own wrestling? What happened to you? I mean, you were big in the.
What happened?
Yeah,
to
I
me?
mean, you were doing your own show. You were like the Kiner's Corner of wrestling. What happened? What happened?
Yeah,
Was there
I'll
a
tell
falling
you.
out?
No, I'll tell you what. When WrestleMania 3 in the Silverdome, 93,000 people, John Carpenter asked me to do the movie They Live. And Vince McMahon Jr. got mad at me because he said, I'll have another movie for you in 4 weeks. I said, not with John Carpenter directing it.
Right.
So he sent a message via my lawyer, Carol Fries, that Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon are the only true blue WWFers. And the reason for that was in WrestleMania 2 when I boxed Mr. T, I don't know, in Nassau, the people just started chanting my name. God bless you. And it just went like that. I didn't change or do anything like that. I went to a camp at the Holyfield, Braxton Spinks. And
Wait a second. Let me understand something. You said something here I think I understand.
Yes, sir.
You're saying that when the falling out really occurred when you got offered your movie.
Yes.
And Vince said to you, don't do the movie. I'll put you in a movie.
Yes, sir.
Because you didn't comply with that,
Yes, sir.
you fell out of favor.
Exactly.
And so, therefore, you become persona non grata. You can't come back to WWF.
Yeah, go away, leave at your own chosen speed, but do it faster, Rod.
Right.
And the thing
Is that why The Rock had to do his movie with Vince?
With Vince, yes.
Right.
And the thing with Vince Jr. is he wants to snaffle up and own everything. And I'm not, as a businessman, I suppose that's fine. But when you start through control cutting somebody's morality line purposely, and they're going for it and they have no way of getting out of it, that's got to come to a stop.
Did you say to Vince, listen, Vince, I just want to do the film. I love the
bless you.
WWF. I want to talk rationally here. I don't want to be out, but he would not hear you?
Yes, and also, let me get you right up contemporarily. Last, you got to give me a little grace here, 2 or 3 days ago, I FedExed a book to Vince, and as nice a letter as I could put, saying this to him, capsulized, Vince, I don't want anything from you. Your league, you're way off. I got a chapter in the book called The Sickness. The equation is, it's the first time it's been recognized. We have the highest suicide rate of any sport.
Why is that?
Wrestlers kill themselves?
The back of this shirt. How can I do it? You got a double mic here, man.
Yeah, I got it. What are you going to do? Careful. Don't hurt yourself.
The
vacuum shirt is a list of guys who killed themselves?
Very slowly. Read the first
All
one.
right, let me see. It says Art Barr.
Dead.
Rick Rude.
Dead.
Brian Pillman.
Dead.
Rick McGraw.
Dead.
Adrian Adonis.
Dead.
Andre.
Dead.
Owen.
My cousin, dead.
Kerry Von Erich.
My best friend, dead.
Bruiser Brody.
Dead.
Junkyard Dog.
Dead.
Well, they didn't all commit suicide.
Artie Lang.
Dead. I mean, no. Lesbian. No, never mind.
That's it, lesbian.
Yes.
But they didn't.
Pluto is right. Andre the Giant didn't commit suicide. Did he?
No, I'm not saying he did.
Right.
Owen didn't commit
Okay,
suicide.
now, who's ever got the trumpet on, I'm going to choke you out if you don't take it
Hey,
out.
don't look over here.
No.
Go ahead, yeah.
No. Now, my point is, sure, I got to make it real plain that I was the sickest of them all.
Okay.
All right, so my wife saved my life.
You seem like a crazy guy. Quite frankly.
No.
I don't think it's an act with you.
I don't think you took your medication today.
I think are you on any medication? Do you have to take medicine? No. You're not going to take medicine.
No, I've done that one too.
Right.
I remember there was a steroid investigation, and Elephant Man.
You admit to taking steroids, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course I did. Man.
All the guys did.
I'm a midget. No, I don't know whether he did or not. I just knew that,
But
bam,
you admitted
he's
it.
big.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with it. I don't know. You know, one of the things the government used to do in those steroid things is testosterone. They put, this does not enhance athletic ability. This is your government jerking with the kids. Right. Well, we knew it did. So right away, that discredited anything the government ever said.
Right.
Then they took that label off it, and so they're still trying. So, does it or does it not? Well, now they say it does. So quit messing with it. Lyle Zato was one of my best friends.
Yeah, you should be able to take it if it doesn't enhance athletic ability.
No, well, depending if you can't get a hard on or not, with testosterone.
Did it stop you from getting aroused?
No, it gave me 4 kids.
Really?
Absolutely.
How can testosterone stop you?
When you took steroids, did your nuts get smaller?
After the cycle goes through a 6-week cycle and the synthetic wears off, your nuts get smaller, and you got to take a thing called gonadotropin, I think it's called, which is like a female hormone which balances things back.
Right.
Good Lord.
It's tricky chemistry.
You become a test tube.
And
you do.
I could even see in your wrist, you broke your wrist. You won't have it fixed because they say you won't be able to play the bagpipes again.
How'd you know that?
I read your book.
You did, man?
Yeah.
Honest to God, if anybody's going to give me an honest God, what'd you think?
It's really honest. It's good.
I did it from my memory and from my heart.
That's good. And you wrote it yourself.
Yes, sir. I wrote it down myself. There was this guy named Rob Picarillo that, I don't know.
Cleaned it up a little?
Something editing.
Shaped it for you?
Yeah, shaped it for me.
All
but
right,
it's kind of,
your words.
I wrote it.
It's
Yes,
your
sir.
words.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the point is, when it comes to wrestling and Vince McMahon, you'd like to see a change back to the old days. You'd like to see a loosening up of the strings where every word isn't scripted, where Vince isn't in charge of everything.
I could turn that territory around in 3 weeks. They say get the F out. Yeah, get the F out. Put the W back in for wrestling. Right. And may I say this, Howard? I told you I sent Vince a book, and in the note it says basically this. And Vince, I got to come after you. I got no choice, but I'd like to come after you, and at the end of it, if we could get into some kind of forum, privately or publicly, and you just clean up the sexual part, and I'll get you right back on track with the wrestling, I don't have no problem with you. If you don't, then I officially declare that wrestling is dead, and it should be on this shirt, because there is no professional wrestling as I know it.
And it's a big business, man. We're talking business here. We're talking about business.
You're talking about letting my cousin come down 90 feet, die, boom, in the ring with his family in the front row, and you scrape him off and put the next match in under the premise the show must go on. The only people that say that is a promoter, so they don't have to give the money back. His baby and his wife are in the front row, and my cousin goes, boom, dies, and they've made me, Big John, he was dead, made me, in my insanity, jump over him, he was dead going to the ring. So I ain't no better, but I'm just saying, holy cow.
You went into the ring?
Pardon me?
You went into the ring after that?
Of course. I've been stabbed 3 times, man. I've gone down in a plane. I've been shot
How were you
at.
stabbed 3 times? Describe
last
that.
Time, I got to think of them. Last one was in Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah. Last time was Raleigh, North Carolina. I came an inch from my heart.
Who's stabbing you?
Vince, it sounds like.
I was stabbing you.
Uh-oh, is that Eric Bischoff?
By the power vested in me, Mr. Piper.
Time, Eric, you had your hair cut, your black hair cut off, and it was all gray underneath. You can't beat moments like that.
So what are you? So what are you doing with yourself these days? You wrote the book. What do you do? Do you now you're retired? Do you hang out?
Here's what I do. I love my kids.
Right.
I got a deaf Great Dane that's my therapist. You stupid dog!
You yell at the dog and it doesn't do it.
Well, if it's not looking, and then
Isn't that ironic? You yell a lot for a living, and yet the dog can't hear you.
It's on a perfect match, I don't.
So where do you live now?
I live on a mountain about 45 miles outside of Portland, Oregon.
Well, that sounds nice.
Mountain. I have a ranch up there, and my 4 kids, my wife.
When you have a ranch,
22 years.
You hang out. You're retired in a way.
Yeah,
you made enough money.
Do you have any animals like cows?
Tons. Everything moves. Everything moves. I'm about to do a movie in January.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, a guy named Ethan Denmeyer for New Line. That's called Night Fever. Janet Jackson, Emilio Estevez.
Oh, no kidding. So that's a good life.
Yeah, you know,
you're living a good life.
I'm trying to live for the last part
leave
for quality.
wrestling alone. Let him
I love you, Rob.
It's a story I got to ask you. I got to ask you this.
There you are. How are you? I
want to ask you this. This is such a great story.
you.
I love this story. There's a couple of things I want to mention before I run out of time, all right?
Please.
All right. Like you mentioned, you've been stabbed a bunch of times, 3 times.
3 times.
You were once in critical condition for 13 days following a bad car accident.
Yes, sir.
You've had everything done to you, but this one is the one that gets my my attention. Roddy says he contracted an STD, sexually transmitted disease, a thing at the base of his penis from his roommate's girlfriend.
His roommate's girlfriend.
Right, so you banged your roommate's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Wait.
All right.
Wait, listen to this. Wait, it's a great story.
No.
Roddy told his male roommate about the STD, and his roommate used a white-hot needle and a pair of pliers to remove the thing. What the hell did you have on there? So you woke up... Okay, come on. Tell the story.
Now I'm sweating.
All right, this is good, because our audience wants to know how to get rid of STD.
Oh, okay. This is what happened.
Right. Wait, was you just when you were young, you had a roommate?
I was about 22, 23 years old.
All right, go ahead.
My roommate's name was Killer Brooks, and actually the guy who introduced him to my wife in a restaurant. I said, boy, Killer, that's a gorgeous-looking girl. I'd like to marry her. He says, yo, come on over here. Killer's got hair all over his body except for the top of his head and a little cigar. She ran away. I couldn't find her for 6 weeks. I finally gave her my number. She called me.
But you banged his girlfriend.
Okay, okay. I can't get away from it, can I? Here's the story. I will come clean.
All right, come clean.
I will come clean.
You're
Every Friday night, we would come back from Eugene, and Killer had this nice little gal named Wombat. And he had his...
Killer and Wombat. It sounds great.
It was a match made in heaven, baby.
Right.
Killer's from Waxahachie, Texas. And we had 2 different rooms, and I'd do what I did, and he'd do what he did. And in the morning, I'd get up to go to the gym, and there'd be this funk in the apartment, you know. So I'd just slip off to the gym. By the time I got back, Killer, Wombat had gone back home. The windows were open, etc. So one day I'm there, and Wombat, you know. Hey, Wombat, come on in. What's going on? Where's Killer? Oh, he's not here. Hi. And, you know... All
right, one thing led to another.
Okay, and...
You had sex with her. Was she a whore? I mean, was she a filthy whore?
No.
I mean, she shouldn't be banging you if she's banging your buddy.
Well, I guess that's my fault. You know, there's a little bit of...
Well, she did knock on the door.
Yeah, but I did manipulate her.
All right, so she was not a little whore.
No, she's just a nice lady.
We all had Wombat.
All right, good job.
That's right.
So anyway, about 5 days, on the base of my penis, it started having its own lungs. It was bleeding, claws. What was it? I don't know, and I got scared because I had to tell Killer, and I thought he's going to kick the dog out of me. Right. So I says, Killer, you know, I got a problem. And I'm trying to, how do I do this? If I take my, well, Killer, I got,
you show
right
him?
away. Yeah, I show him. He said,
and he knew.
You know what he said, you've been with Wombat, haven't you? That's it. He says, I know how to get rid of that. And he goes, basically, he sits down, and he's talking to me, and he's got a pair of pliers, and he's heating up a needle on the electric stove. Oh. And I'm looking at Killer. I mean, this is not a hard equation to figure out, but then again, it's breathing on my penis. I understand. Here he comes, stabs the son of a gun, and then he holds on to me, and it goes basically a 1/4 inch around the base of my penis, and the bottom line is... It never came back.
Wow. The guy's a miracle worker.
He's a healer.
He's a healer. That is a great story. Now, Roddy Piper's new book is In the Pit with the Piper.
Yeah.
Actually, In the Pit with Piper. It's available in stores now. This is a big deal for him. It's your first book.
Yes, sir.
You're excited about it?
Very much so.
You'll be doing some book signings?
I have been. I'm on Billy Ray Cyrus's bus right now. I'm 15 days into the road. And on 25th Planet Hollywood, this is going to be really cool. Yeah. They have it cordoned off, and last Saturday was Roddy Piper Day from the mayor in San Francisco School, Willie Brown.
Well, that's nice.
I've had the nicest reception from the fans. I'm going to be coming through here. I'm going to be in Times Square on the 25th, Planet Hollywood, 4 to 6. Please, everybody's welcome. We have a new healing center for these wrestlers to go to that I've been working with the father, Jason Sanderson. And 2 doors down is Raw.
Really?
I can't help myself.
I'm not going to say you're bitter, but you have a lot of anger inside you about the WWF.
Yeah, yes, sir.
You're hurt.
I'll tell you,
you're hurt. You're hurt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know why? I'll give it to you real short, and you read the book. This is how promoters take care of you. I busted my bum, as everybody else did, but I took the heat. I kicked Cyndi Lauper. I knocked out Mr. T. They were my kids thereafter. The end of WrestleMania 1, It's kind of humorous, but at the same time, for me, it tells me where the promoters come from. Bottom line is, everybody had left. Bob Orton and I are sitting down in the bottom of the garden. Our limousine was taken. We haven't got a cab. We got a cop on a horse, and the horse is going poo-poo. Every time it hits the ground, Orton's going, shit. I'm standing there thinking, I did all this, and they're off, and they could care less about the guy. They didn't come to see Hogan at WrestleMania 1. They came to see me get my ass kicked.
You feel you're owed something for
I just want to say
They should have
straight.
given him a car.
Well,
I was fired from NBC. Remember, they took away the car. We were standing out there with
He
cardboard
wasn't
boxes.
fired. He was working for
Yeah,
him.
aren't they brutal? Isn't that brutal, though? When they let you go,
There it goes.
hey, RoddyPiper.com is a place you
Did you ever get any stock options? Did you ever get any ownership in the company? Did you ever get
Nothing.
Just something on the base of his penis.
Oh, Jerry Bischoff!
That's right.
You better run!
You better run!
I've been with Wombat. I need a needle.
Eric, you found out a different way than Killer did, though.
Yeah.
Well, Rowdy, I want to thank you for coming
God
in here. It's
bless
a
you.
pleasure to meet you. Thank you for the
It's my
honest book.
pleasure.
Roddy Piper. If you want to know what's going on in wrestling, read the man's book. It's a fascinating story. In the Pit with Piper, available in stores now. We'll be back right after these words.